way I say this, I'm gonna sound like a psychopath or a serial killer. Hi everyone, welcome back, or welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. How do I say this without sounding like a psychopath? Let's give some backstory, because that may be helpful. So all my life I have been interested... Any way I say this, I'm going to sound like a psychopath or a serial killer. I'm going to say it anyway, why not? All my life I have been interested, probably isn't the right word, but we'll go with interested, in serial killers, murders, like the psychology behind it. For example, like what has made someone kill someone, what's in their past, is it an environmental thing, is it a genetic thing, the crime scenes like DNA, blood splatters, things like that. Growing up I always wanted to be a forensic pathologist. I was not smart enough to be a forensic pathologist. I've wanted to be an embalmer, crime scene investigator, blood splatter analysis, all things I'm too stupid to do. So instead I just watch a lot of crime documentaries and things like that. And it really baffles me that there are some people out there who have no idea about some of England's history. I know it's a murder history, but it's still history, it's still quite big stuff. Don't get me wrong, murder is a horrendous thing. Don't do it. Don't hurt anyone in any way. It's sick, it's twisted, not for it. Not for me. But I like talking about it. I find it really fascinating. People like talking about space, some people like talking about history, I like talking about murders. End of. Done. I love educating people about murders. It's something that I just really like to do. And ever since I've started this channel, it's something I've wanted to discuss, but I thought, oh, it's probably not gonna go down so well. However, in the last 2 weeks, people have been saying to me, oh, do you know this YouTuber? I've forgotten her name, but there's a famous YouTuber who does makeup and talks about murder stories. And so I thought, well, if everyone's telling me about it and like it, then they're just going to have to listen to me do it. So that's basically what we're going to do today. We're going to do some makeup and I'm going to talk about some murders. Please note that I'm really not trying to be insensitive. This is just about education. The case I'll be talking about today really rocked the nation, and I just think it's something that especially people living in Cambridge, where I'm from, should know about. I don't know how else to word it, really. So this video could go on for some while, so I'm just going to get stuck into my makeup. But this is a disclaimer that I am talking about murder. I am talking about children, and it's not a very pleasant conversation. So if this isn't for you, or if you're quite young watching this, I would advise that you don't. But apart from that, let's go. So, anyway, so I tried to talk while doing my eyebrows, but my eyebrows, I need so much focus, so it just wasn't going well. So we're going to start again, now that I've done my eyebrows. Not very well though, but hey ho. So, the reason I brought up Cambridge is because this happened in Soham, which is a town in Cambridgeshire, which is not far from Cambridge itself. This is the case of Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman. You may know it as the Soham Murders? The Soham Murders, but the names Holly and Jessica might ring a bell to you. So on the 4th of August in 2002, Holly Wells and her family were having a barbecue. Holly invited over her best friend Jessica to the barbecue. So when I say that these girls were best friends, I mean they went to school together, they were at each other's house constantly. These girls were inseparable, and they were 10 years old. I don't know if I said that, but they were 10 years old. So at some point in the day, Jessica goes to Holly's house. They're both wearing their Manchester United football tops, which is their favourite team, both wearing David Beckham on the back, who is their idol. At some point in the day, Holly's mum Nicola takes a picture of the girls wearing the tops, and that is the last photo taken of them alive. They spend the majority of the barbecue in Holly's bedroom, and at around 6:15 p.m. the girls left Holly's house to go buy some sweets, but did not tell anyone. Now, not telling anyone was quite unusual for the girls. as they knew not to talk to strangers, they knew not to venture out alone unless it was to go to the other one's house. So this took everyone by surprise. But they were just going to get some sweets. So on their way back to Holly's house, they had to walk past Ian Huntley's house. Ian Huntley was their school caretaker and knew the girls quite well. His girlfriend, Maxine Carr, was the girls' teaching assistant at their school. Ian Huntley lured the girls into his house with the premise that Maxine Carr was in the house and wanted to see the girls. And it's very important to note at this point in time that Maxine was not at home. She was far away visiting her mother. To this day, it's still not known what actually occurred inside the house. It's known that Jessica's phone was turned off at around 6:45 p.m. They believe that it was her trying to call help from her mum. Her phone was turned off, assumed by Ian Huntley. And that evening, Ian Huntley killed Holly and Jessica. So at around 8 p.m, Holly's mum Nicola went to Holly's room to get the girls to say goodbye to the guests and to call it a night. When she went into the room and found they weren't there, they started to panic. So they looked around the house, they looked around the neighbouring streets, and they couldn't find Holly or Jessica. At around 8:30, they called Jessica's parents, who were surprised by the call and were saying, "No, we're just expecting Jessica back, where is she?" And no one knew. And then at 9:55 p.m, Holly and Jessica were reported missing. So with the girls missing, an immediate manhunt was launched by the Cambridgeshire police. And when I say manhunt, I mean, oh my god, I think it was over 400 officers were out looking, they were doing searches, they were going house to house, like everyone was searching for these two girls. I mean, every sex offender in Cambridgeshire and Lincolnshire were questioned and interrogated to see, if they knew anything about it. It's important to know that I think in most missing kids cases or abduction cases that it's about 48 to 72 hours you've got to find them before they are more than likely dead. So there was a lot of media coverage with this case. The picture of the girls in their Man United shirts, that was plastered every newspaper, posters and TV. There was a TV reconstruction of the girls' last steps that was broadcast across the whole country. On the 12th of August, both sets of parents did an interview for ITV to try and plead, to try and see if the girls were alive, if they could come back themselves, or if someone had them to return their girls. Even David Beckham pleaded for their safety, and all their friends, family, neighbours were conducting TV interviews as well to make sure they were safe and to give any information they had. So one person who was particularly involved in the investigation was Ian Huntley. Now, Ian Huntley had told the police that he was the last person who saw the girls alive, that they had walked past his house and he was outside and asked if Maxine had gotten a teaching position job. And then he claimed that the girls just walked away back to Holly's house. Ian Huntley participated in searches for the girls, he participated in many interviews. He was even interviewed by Sky News and did like a kind of reconstruction. He loved the attention, he loved it all, and kept saying how sad he was because the girls would have seen him alive last. Even though Ian Huntley thought he was very convincing, the police were very suspicious of Huntley from the start. An initial search was done at his house, but nothing was found. But they were suspicious as to the fact that there were clothes on the washing line, and his house was extremely clean, but he claims that his house had a flood. One reason the police became especially suspicious of Huntley was that he approached a senior special constable and asked her, he used to ask investigators about the process, how close they were to finding them, kept getting updates and whatnot, but he asked one constable how long DNA evidence can survive for before deteriorating. Major red flag. Major red flag. So, Ian Huntley wasn't the only one doing interviews. His girlfriend participated in a few interviews and had backed Ian's claims to police that she was there the whole time, which we all know she wasn't. Oh, that's really cute. Yeah, she wasn't at Ian Huntley's house, but she had told the police that she was in the bathroom and was there the whole weekend. While these two were happy doing their interviews, Maxine made quite a critical mistake, telling one interviewer that Holly had made her a card for the end of the term, because this obviously was in August, so the summer holidays, and she said that it was a really nice card and that's the kind of girl that Holly was, referring to Holly in the past tense, which made the producers of that show say, hang on a minute, that's probably not right, and they informed the police. So the police were very suspicious of this couple from the start, but they had no evidence, no nothing pointing them to Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr. So they had no evidence essentially to do anything, and the initial search was clean. It wasn't until police received information from several residents in Grimsby who recognised Huntley on the TV. Huntley used to live in Grimsby and was accused of rape several years prior, which I believe is one reason why he moved to Soham in the first place. The police were also informed, because they saw Ian and Maxine on the TV, that actually Maxine was in Grimsby visiting her mother at the time of the murder. So nothing was adding up for the police, so that's when Maxine and Ian Huntley were taken in for questioning. While they were being questioned, which took over 7 hours by the way, the police conducted a search of Ian Huntley's home and the school grounds where he worked. Can I just say, pause, how pretty is that eye? Stunning. So you're probably wondering, why didn't the police just bring him in for questioning straight away? So one of the investigators has said that they were very concerned for the girls' safety, and they were hoping that they had thought that there was potential that the girls were still alive, and if they took Ian Huntley in too early, then there'll be no one there to feed the girls, to make sure the girls are okay if he has just kidnapped them, and then if he was released without little evidence, he could then either hide them somewhere else or kill them. So yeah, so that's the reasoning behind it. So we're packing on quite a lot of foundation right now. Got to cover up all the spots that wearing a face mask at work has brought me. Me beating my face is quite loud, so I'm going to do that before I move on to the next part of the story. I've just done my foundation and concealer. So, Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr were taken into questioning on the 16th of August, and their questioning took 7 hours. While they were being questioned, the police conducted a search of Ian Huntley's home and the school where he worked to see if there was any more evidence. I think as well is that when they did his initial search, Ian Huntley was there and could have thrown off the police, so they wanted to be as thorough as possible this time, which is when they found numerous of items of evidence. The Manchester United shirts that Holly and Jessica were wearing were found in a bin, concealed by a bin bag full of rubbish, and they were cut and partially burnt, and that was found in the school, which meant to the police officers that the girls were dead and there was no hope of finding them alive. And in the house they found fibres of those football shirts, so it was clear to everyone that Ian Huntley has murdered these girls. His fingerprints were over everything as well, the bin bag, the tops, everything. So at 4:30 AM on the 17th of August, Ian Huntley and Maxine Carr were arrested for abduction and murder. During this questioning, Maxine Carr very quickly changed her story, saying to the police that yes, she wasn't there. She was actually at home visiting her mother's home, but because of his prior offences that she was worried that he would be convicted, and so covered his back because he couldn't last in prison. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. However, at the time that Maxine Carr is quickly changing her stories and trying to get her innocence and trying to be as free from this as possible, Ian Huntley is refusing to talk. I'm pretty sure he was hoping that she would do the same. While he refused to talk, Ian Huntley was very quick to plead mental illness and put on symptoms in custody. So he was then put into a psychiatric ward for 3 months for evaluation. And his doctor there found him to be of sound mind, so there we go. I'm going to quickly attempt to do some liner, and then hopefully we can end our story. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So Maxine Carr was found guilty of perverting the course of justice for lying about his alibi and for 2 counts of assisting an offender. She was given 3.5 years, however she only serves less than half of that time. When she came out, she was given a new identity and is a free woman living her life right now. And then finally Ian Huntley was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to 2 life sentences. So he will be serving a minimum of 40 years in prison, and he has said he has accepted he will die in prison. He says he's sorry for what he did. Oh my god, I didn't even tell you. I left a crucial part out of this story. So on the 17th of August, Holly and Jessica's bodies were found in a ditch near the perimeter of RAF Lakenheath, which is a US air base that's like, I think it's in Suffolk, so the neighbouring county to Cambridge, so it's not far. Their bodies had been there since they were murdered on the 4th of August, they believe. Their bodies were badly decomposed by this point, and they had been partially burnt to try to destroy any forensic evidence. That's why the cause of death could not be determined, but it is probable asphyxiation. Ian Huntley remains to this day saying that the girls fell. They didn't fall, obviously. I think Ian Huntley's claim was that Holly slipped and fell in the bathtub, or slipped and fell and hit her head in the bathtub. Unfortunately, there is debate as to whether or not any sexual assaults occurred. Some people will argue yes because their clothes were ripped off, some people will argue no. It is very sad. It's a horrible, horrible story, but it has played such a massive part in our lives. So unfortunately, that is where our story ends, with Jessica and Holly having been murdered, Maxine Carr living her life. I think they've said she's had a son now, who also has a protected identity. Ian Huntley is in jail, and Holly and Jessica's friends and family have to live the rest of their lives with a deep, deep hole in their heart. And I think that's horrendous, and I don't think anyone deserves to go through that. I don't really know how to end this. Like, unfortunately that is the end of the story, so I don't really know what else to say. So this obviously was a different kind of video for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like that's the wrong thing to say. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you've learnt something from this. Please let me know if you would like to see more of these videos. I think from when I edit this I can see what I've done well, what I've done wrong, if I was talking too fast or not. But yeah, so please do let me know. Comment down below or like this video if you'd like to see more of it. It's not going to be like all the time, it's not going to be every video, but maybe once a month kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, but thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!